Alright, second part of the video. We are still talking about aggressive spots where we're going to aggressively check raise, 3-bet and c-bet. And the first part of the video wasn't so great, there were a lot of spots, and hopefully the second part is better. We open 8-6 suited because why not? Nobody 3-bet a lot, so I like to open these hands. And we got 3-bet by this guy. So what happened is I opened to 2.5, this guy flat 2.5 and he 3-bet 7. So 7 is really tiny. So now I have the pot odds to call even with this hand. So I'm calling. Turn is betting big. There is the 7-2 offsuit rule, so I don't want to raise and make him fold 7-2. I'm basically always gonna get his stack, I believe. Unless the river is an ace and he has 2 kings or 2 queen. Shit like that. That's a bit annoying. But now if he was bluffing though, he would always do that. So now I'm pretty sure he was bluffing. Either he hit the river with king, queen, ace, king, but I'm pretty sure it's just 7-2 now. Or a total airball, yeah. So yeah, let's take a note. Very important note. Squeeze tiny, bluff, which is really silly from him. If you wanted to squeeze, you should have squeezed something like 14 or 15 big blind, just to really put a maximum of pressure. King 7, multi-way, we're never gonna c-bet this one. In multi-way, we're very careful. We like to check a lot in multi-way and let the fish basically hang themselves, because fish on the turn, they just can't help themselves. They're gonna bet really weak hands, and they're gonna tell us their hand strength. Meaning that a good player here would check back some jacks, would check back some 2 pairs, even some straights. Obviously the fish will never do such thing. So when the fish has a good hand, he's always going to bet it on the flop. So when he bet flop, we can fold. It's usually a strong hand. Why? Because it's under bluff when they bet multi-way. And now because we know that whenever they have a good hand, they usually bet flop. When they don't bet flop, we know that their range is really weak. And so we can start bluffing turn. Obviously we're never going to bluff turn with a 7. But yeah, you got the idea. So he called flop, turn, check, check, river, he go for a small bet, so apparently, and this guy had nothing. So he stabbed flop as a bluff, and he went for half pot. No, a bit more than half pot. So kinda interesting. Let's write this. Stab, multi-way, flop, B55. Bluff, question mark. It's not a very useful note, but I don't have anything to do with my time right now, so I might rather do something useful. Okay, 20 big blind, his jam is jack off, pretty standard, but we're gonna write it. It's really a pretty useless note because it's basically what it's meant to do. But I just write things. It can always help, and it also helped me keep myself focused. When I don't have action like this, I'm usually I'm gonna recap what I said in the previous video, just in case you don't get to hear it. So basically, in this video, we're going to focus a lot on check raising, 3-bet and so on, as I said. So basically I'm going to teach you how to use the hammer. And so the problem with the hammer is that once you learn how to use the hammer, you know this famous saying that once you have a hammer in your hand, it feels like everything looks like a nail. So you're just going to use it every time, and sometimes it's actually really bad. So this little music behind, even though I never grind with music, it's just for the video, but this little music behind it's a very calm and chill music, and to help us remember that we want to be in this flow state of we're never in a rush, we're not listening to death metal and 3-betting and check raising everything. We're actually doing the opposite. We're trying to control our breathing and trying to control our thoughts and being very calm, because when we are using the hammer, especially me, who's a very aggressive guy, I can very easily just lose focus and go berserk and just hammer everything, everywhere, 2x spot, 4x spot, all in shit. So yeah, maybe use the opposite. Maybe if you have problem with aggressivity, I mean, you should definitely not listen to death metal when you play, but you got my idea. Always try to be aware of your what you do good, what you do bad, and find a way to keep yourself on the right tracks. 7-4, he's c-betting, we're just gonna call. Pocket 3, he's opening. There's a limp, so he straddles, so limp. ISO, we're never gonna call. We're basically 50 BB deep because 1 BB is 2 BB now, so 50 BB deep, we're never gonna call. 7-4, he's c-bet, we call. We're just gonna call all the way. Pretty sure nothing to do. No point in raising here to make him fold what, a 6? No. And the ace. Could we don't bluff the ace? Nah. We definitely could. I'm not gonna do it. The reason why it's a bit more advanced is because I'm very aware of my image. So everybody here see me as a total maniac because they just basically I'm the one who go all in the most here. And so when I have choice between aggressive line and passive line, I would take the passive line because I know that people are expecting me to go aggressively. You could be the opposite. If you've never been out of line and you have a choice, maybe it's worth it to take the aggressive line when you can. So always try to do what your opponents don't expect you to do, basically. Like if people think you're a maniac, be a nit. Okay, what's happening on the left? So he opened 8 BB. We will recap the action after, but it's important to see. He opened 8 BB and now he's tanking. He probably has ace queen and he's thinking about calling his ace queen. I don't see. He's always going to call his 2 queen here. Probably a jack will already snap call because there's so many draw possible. So yeah, ace jack. Wow, and he was tanking. Okay, so pretty important to know that he's a bit scared. So this ammo for me, the little mouse, is people who are scared. You see that he just tanked for ages with a hand that is just a proper snap call. I mean, you just have second pair is top kicker. That's all. You're obviously gonna call. And what does he say? I have no idea. Okay, on the right, bomb pot. Can bet, can check. People here are pretty aggressive, so we're gonna go for the bet. If I have aggressive player on my table, I would go for the check, go for the check raise. Probably check raising this hand is alright. We kind of have to be careful because we're playing against many people, so it's very easy for someone to have 2 pair, but yeah. We go for the bet, everybody fold. Pretty nice. 6-4 on the right. Let's see what's gonna happen. He's taking his time. Either he's not focused or he's thinking about it. No, he's just not focused. He's just not here. Okay, he was here. And he just tanked to open 4.5. I'm never gonna call. Let's see if he was 7-2. I don't think he was 7-2. Yeah, he probably was a strong hand. We don't know, so we're gonna write the note like this. We're gonna write open premium 4.5 question mark. Next time, if we see him opening premium 4.5, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the question mark to put a dot, and if we see doing it again, we're gonna put exclamation mark to make sure that this sizing is always it. Ace-10, great opportunity to not use the hammer. He's opening bigger than he should. He has only 16 PFR, so this guy is here to wait for strong hands. He's very, very tight. So if he's very, very tight, meaning that he just plays very strong hands, do I want to play against him? No, right? I will only play against him when I have a very, very strong hand myself. King queen suited, sorry. We're looking at the table. Nobody 3-bet a lot, nobody seems aggressive, so we're gonna open it pretty big. I'm gonna reduce the music a bit. It's a bit too loud. King 6 suited doesn't play well in multi-way. We're gonna fold. 9-7. We can limp along or we can ISO. Let's go back to the king queen and see what's happening. So he 3-bet, he 4-bet, obviously it's a very easy fold. I think he 3-bet really big, he has 6% 3-bet, is either 7 deuce or a premium. And he's tanking, so it's like 10s, jacks, ace queen, jack 9, okay, wow. Alright. And he called exactly because he thought to himself, oh, my opponent has 7-2. I swear. I mean, why else would he call? Or ace king. 9-7, we is a raise, flop check check, turn check check, it's time to attack. We can go for different sizing here. I want to attack multiple streets, not just one, so I'm just going to go 2-3 here and then go 2-3 river. I could probably go over bet here, even though it's not a thing in theory, and a good player would just read me like a book, but King 5, we're 4 players, we have so much equity. I actually don't mind betting, even though we don't really like to bet third pair, just because actually our hand has like such a high equity. Ace 4, last time he opened, okay, alright, so I have a note on him, open trash 4 BB, and last hand he opened ace jack 4 BB, so this sizing doesn't mean much. I'm gonna look at the guy behind me. He's pretty tight. I mean, he's not very aggressive, so he's not going to squeeze, so I can actually call and get to see the flop. King Jack, we are heads up. I guess our friend who just jammed 20 big blind for a few minutes ago, so I'm going to start by checking. He checked back very fast. Let's hope he has a little something, and he's going to call me a turn plus river. King 5 now, I'm going to bet. I think this is a great hand to start betting. It's a great hand to start betting. It's a great hand to use the hammer. I want them to fold a lot of things. We're very deep, so I'm actually going to scare them a lot. I'm going to go almost to a spot. Basically, if I hit the river, I'm going to be able to, maybe not to jam because we're really deep, but yeah. Ace 4, he's betting turn. I'm going to call. My bluff worked, which is great. I'm gonna call, but I'm not that happy. King is gonna be a card where he's probably gonna bluff a lot on it. Every time, everything missed. I mean, once he missed the river, he's just gonna say, oh cool, it's a king, I can bluff and scare him. So when he's betting river now, he'd never have a 9. He just has like 2 pair plus, or he just have kings plus, but he doesn't have many kings. When he check back river, that's a bit sad. And he's betting turn with his second pair, so it's a bit too thin, so I'm actually going to switch to this one, which means that he's betting too thin. So if you're against someone who bet too thin, I can limp here, I can call the limp just because nobody 3-bet, nobody's aggressive, so it's great. I can see the flop pretty much every time in position with a hand that plays pretty well multi-way. I'm not going to start betting here. I want to see the turn. Because if he check flop plus turn, he has nothing. And now my hand has so much equity, I'm just going to go to X spot because I don't care if you call me. It's fine if you call me. I still have like a flush draw. And here, it's basically going to fold like 90% of the time. So I'm sure I'm going to win. And the rare time he called, is because he had something good, I'm not going to bluff river anymore. And I have a chance to improve. And once he called and I know he has something really good, it can basically mean that river, I can just basically bet 2 or 3 X spot and just win a huge spot. So there's a lot of benefits to take this over bets. When your opponent is capped because he checked a few times, you know it's going to overfold. Because in theory, we should, when we check flop plus third, we're still meant to have a lot of good hands in our range. Because if we don't, a good player like me will just overbet you to X spot, turn and river, and then you just cannot defend, you're just going to overfold. King Queen we're never going to call here, and we're not going to 3-bet because it's too big and he has only 16 PFR. I don't want to play multi-way with King Queen even though I'm going to be in position. Um, and this guy is very neat. If he was another player, I would probably call or even like go for a very small 3-bet to isolate myself, but here there's no way I'm playing against him. Poker is very simple. Poker is not about trying to win many hands or to win your hands. Poker is about attacking when your opponent is weak, and running away when he's strong. So there, he was strong because he's a raise 5 and he has 16 PFR. So I'm not gonna attack him. Jack 10, I'm in multi-way, but this board is really bad for me. They have a lot of cards that connect. I don't mind. Actually, I prefer check and try to see the turn and see what they do, because if they check flop plus turn, they're really capped, so I can start bluffing. Once again, I want to know when they're weak. Ace, let's be very careful. Ace is really good for them because they're fish. When they have ace 2 offsuit, they're gonna play ace 2 offsuit because it's an ace, right? So ace is a card that is in big quantity in the range. He snap check turn, so he doesn't have an ace. If he's checking river, I'm gonna go for it. He's betting. I'm just gonna fold. He could be bluffing, but he could also have an ace because turn. He could keep checking an ace turn. He could also check a monster on the turn, thinking that we're gonna bet on the ace. So ace 9, we're heads up. I'm gonna check. I don't know what happened, to be honest. Yeah, he had an ace. He was hoping for us to bet turn, to go for a check raise probably. So what happened here? I was focused on the other table. No, ISO, he call, yeah, and then we check all the way through. Yeah, okay, pretty cool. I mean, my subconscious played his hand without even me realizing it, but he played it actually the right way, so quite glad about it. Sadly, we haven't got many good aggressive spots, so I'll send you this video, but I'll probably make another one for you tomorrow, and we can just count these videos are just one, okay? Because we don't have a lot of check raise spots, even though I'm trying to talk about the check raise spots, even if I don't have the hands to check raise. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this. Okay, so let's see if we have some spots. So he opened 4.5. I know it was 1, 4.5, call. No, or he opened 4.5. He opened 4.5, right? Yeah. I have a note that he opened 4.5 premiums. Could be true. We don't know yet. On the left, he check raised the flop. King 7 when we open is not really strong. We're not gonna open really big. Once again, we do whatever we want because there's no pro here, there's no good players here. Nobody will realize that we open big the strong hand and small the weak hands. 8-7, we're just gonna. Actually, I'm gonna call. The reason is that we're super deep, and so if we're super deep, I'm never gonna call like King Jack off, but I'm gonna call these hands that can do really cool 2 pairs that he can never have. And now we're obviously gonna fold. I have a lot of hands to check raise here. I'm gonna check raise flush draws. I'm gonna check raise ace 2, ace 5, 5 2, 5 6, 6 7. I'm gonna check raise maybe even King Jack off with the King of heart, ace Jack off with the ace of heart. I'm gonna be very greedy and check raising here. And for value, King Queen for value, and then probably King Queen will start checking turn. And 2 pair plus, obviously. 5-4 bomb pot. Somebody is gonna have a 6 pretty often. All right, we are heads up. He's stabbing turn. We're gonna call because it's an under bluff spot. So now we're gonna be careful. He bet 2/3. 2/3 is an under bluff sizing. So let's see what he does. River. He checks. Let's hope he has an ace. An ace would call probably something big like that. Now the thing is that the flush get there, the straight get there, so he might actually be a bit suspicious and fold a bit too much his aces. So maybe going smaller would have been okay, but I kind of want to show you that it's okay to bet really big. Of course, betting really big will work less often, but it will also make me a lot more money when I get called. And if you do the math, it's actually always better to bet bigger, even if it feels like you're never gonna get called. There's only some few spots where it's just really obvious that your opponent will never call, and so you just cannot go like 2x spot river jam. But here I have a 6 here. I have a6. I'll probably in history I have a6. I just obviously I'm gonna jam. Even 6-5 because this guy is under the gun. He does have many sixes. Although he has 60% VP, so he might have some sixes. I had no time to place jack, so I just limped it, which is fine because I want to limp re-raise. But this table is too passive, so it's actually not a good strategy on this table. It's a good strategy normally. On a better table with better rigs, it's a great spot. Maybe this guy is gonna want to play a bit. Come on, let's dance. Now, kings, we're gonna squeeze big. The guys who open under the gun, he's really deep as well, and he's very tight, so he probably has a strong range. Ace jack, I'm gonna check. I have some showdown, not a lot, but yeah. It's actually a pretty standard sizing. It might look gigantic, it's not that gigantic. Ace jack turn, we're gonna start betting. I probably have the better hand now. If somebody has an ace, it's gonna have to put the money. I go 8. Let's not be scared. Up, kings, get it in. Ace jack, we're gonna fold. I don't want to play jack in multi-way. He opened 4x, which is too big. Plus he has a pretty low PFR. Plus ace jack is not good in multi-way, so we just fold it. I don't want to 3-bet this one, and I don't want to call in multi-way. Although it wouldn't be so horrible because these guys are 2 fish, so I could actually play it. Maybe I could have actually. Maybe I should have. Yeah, I was too focused on talking. Ace 10 is easy fold. Is overbetting river. Overbetting is an underbluff sizing, so you just fold. Queen 4. We're gonna fold just because this guy. I mean, he could have a 10, but he could also have. Yeah, no. When you don't know, just take the passive line. 7-2, we play 7-2 offsuit. We know that this guy likes to open trash 7-2, so we go for a huge 3-bet. We're gonna hope he folds. Pocket 7s, there is an open, so 7-2 worked. Everybody gave me 3 big blind, it's cool. Pocket 7. It's a straddle, so there's an open, but it's a very big open in a flat. Let's just fold. You know what? I just don't want to put this much money with pocket 7 out of position. It's alright. We don't have to take annoying spots like this to make money at poker. That's the first most important thing, is that just attack when they're weak and run away when they're strong. And I think when he bet this big, he's strong, so I'm just running away. Sure, 28% of the time, sorry, I flopped the set. It's only 8% of the time. Jack 8. I mean, I prefer fold. It's not meant to open. Now there's like 1, 2, 3 fish and 1 neat, and what good reg. I never saw him here before. I know it's not a good reg actually. It's a pretty bad reg. He just turns out to have aggressive stat, but it's just 200 hands. It's just a pretty weak hand. That's a bad reg. That's close to be a fish for me, obviously, but yeah. Pocket 2s, I want to see the flop. I don't want to open big and get raised, right? If I limp or somebody raised, I have an easy call, but if I go 2BB or 3BB and I get raised to 9 or 10, wow, that's really annoying. So we can bet the size of our hand and nobody will notice, and that's the key. Let's say on the left, I really want to see if he is 9BB with a strong hand. I mean, he could have ace king, ace queen, but aces. All right, yeah, right. So, and did he tank for what the heck? Yeah, right. So open big premium question mark, because we saw him doing this one time. I repeat myself, but if I see him opening big again and this time he showed a bluff or he showed random shit, then suddenly opening big is just his normal sizing with any hand, or it's just sometimes he feel like opening big no matter the size of his no matter the strength of his hand. So we don't know. But if he does it a second time with a good hand, now we have a read, and now we can attack him. Because the time where he opens smaller, he has less strong hands now, because when he have a strong hand, he open pretty big. So when he opens small, we can remove from his range aces, kings, ace king, queens, jacks, and so now we can 3-bet him and go crazy on him, because we know he never has monsters to call us down. Listen, I think 25 minutes is pretty long enough. So I'll make another one tomorrow and we consider one video. But I think in this video there's already quite a few things to learn from. We're just going to play the S4, which is going to be very easy to play because we're just going to not put money in the middle. We're just going to play very slow. If somebody bet 2/3, I'm already going to fold because if they bet 2/3, they even have a better ace than me. Or they have like a very good draw, and if they have against this range, I'm basically doing really bad because even if he's bluffing, he has like 30 or 40% equity, and if he's has a value hand, he has 90% against me. So overall, I'm in a very bad shape. I'm out of position. Let's make our life easy. If we were playing against super tough regs in every seats, then we have no choice. We have to just defend. We have to make sure the opponent doesn't print money with his bluff. But here, there's no need for fishing. This guy is going very big, very fast. He knew he was going to attack. So we have an easy fold, and this guy was trapping. Right? And we're going to be able to see what they do, hopefully, which is always what you always want to do. You always want to see what they have. And he folded. Alright, that's really interesting. Anyway, I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Bye.